Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching in the world. Welcome to another edition of Crime Time with DutyRon, a retired New York City police detective with 20 years of law enforcement. And guys, if you like all things true crime related from a police perspective, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you will get all things DutyRon when I go live or when I upload another video. Hey guys, today I'm going to continue the coverage of this missing persons case out of my home area, Long Island, New York. Gabby Petito, 22-year-old young girl who went out on a cross-country van life mission. She was a YouTuber who had a YouTube account with her fiance/boyfriend. They went across country, leaving Long Island, Blue Point, Long Island, on July 2nd of 2021. And they went out on a road trip, and her boyfriend, fiance, returned home to Northport, Florida, which is in Sarasota County, in Sarasota, on September 1st without her, and has since invoked his Fifth Amendment and lawyered up. This piece of garbage had not the decency to tell his parents, her parents, or anybody what happened to Gabby Petito. And that, to me, is a despicable act by a human being. Guys, again, I want to say a special thank you to my Patreon supporters, my channel members, and all the folks who positively interact in this community. Jeep Girl, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. We're all torn apart by cases like this. You know, we're all parents or grandparents. Richelle Townsend, thank you for becoming a YouTube member. Thank you for joining. We're all parents. And if you're not parents, we're aunts, uncles, godparents. And these are young adults who decided to travel across the country in a van, in her van. They were living for 2.5 years together down in Florida. And that's why the Northport Police Department is investigating this case. But today's video is about the body cam footage. It's long and lengthy. I'm going to skip through certain parts of it, but I want you guys outside the country that might not have access to this to actually see the interactions. So if you suffer from any PTSD or any type of anxiety, or if things like this upset you, is what I'm saying, please don't watch, click off. It is an interaction that potentially could be her last interaction with the police department or anybody at this point. Now it's anybody's guess of what happened to Gabby Petito. I hope and pray for her family that she's found and brought home. But as the days pass on, of course, we don't know when she went missing. The mom and such over here in Long Island, New York, reported her on September 11th, which is just Saturday. But we don't know when she met her issues or when she met the nefarious activities that had happened to her. We don't know what date that is at this point. What we're going to try to do is, as law enforcement investigation goes on, they're going to try to see the last actual known time that she was either on video or used her cellular phone. We know that she FaceTimed her mom late in August. So we're gonna have to rely on that. So I'm going to show quick the press conference from today. This is like 12 minutes, but I'm not going to play it all. I just want you guys to see it and hear it. This is the police chief. He's been active on social media. They're making pleas for the boyfriend, the fiance. I don't even want to call him the fiance, Brian Laundrie. They're asking him to come forward and tell them what happened to Gabby. So again, if you suffer from PTSD or anything of the nature of that nature, please consider tuning out at this point. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and we're going to just watch a little piece of this, and then we'll get right into the body cam footage. Special thank you to my channel members and everyone piling in. Thank you so much. Brian needs to man up. I agree, El. All right, here we go. This will just be brief.
On September 11th, 2001. In June of 2021, Gabby and her fiance embarked on a cross-country trip with plans to travel across the West Coast. and visit state national parks in the western United States. They were traveling in Gabby's 2012 white Ford van and documented their journey on YouTube and social media. We have a picture of the white Ford van that they were traveling in. She maintained regular contact with her family members during her travels. However, that communication abruptly stopped around the end of August. Gabby is a vibrant 22-year-old with a love for life and adventure. She's a daughter, a sister, and a granddaughter. She was excited to share her cross-country trek with others on social media and with her family. Gabby's family and those in the community here and in New York who know and care for her are hoping for answers about her whereabouts. We have investigators working diligently around the clock, as well as with the FBI. The FBI is present here today to show their solidarity and commitment to this investigation, and we are grateful for all their resources. Due to the geographic scope of the investigation, it's important that we partner with our federal and local partners. At this time, I'm going to allow Joe, Gabby's dad, to come up and say a few words.
All right, what I need from everybody here is help, because the goal is still not met. And that goal is to bring Gabby home safe. All right. And I'm asking for help from everyone here. I'm asking for help everyone at home. I'm asking for help from the parents of Brian. And I'm asking for help of the family members and friends of the Laundrie family as well. You know, there is a tip line that you can call anonymously. Whatever you can do to make sure my daughter comes home, I'm asking for that help. There's nothing else that matters to me now. This girl right here, this is what matters. That is it. Anything else, it comes second to this. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Our focus is to finding Gabby, and we are pleading with people out there to give us information, point us in the direction that we need to be, and help us find Gabby. Gabby and her family deserve that. Right now, I'll go ahead and answer a few questions that I can. Go ahead.
Yesterday, you saw an employer to Laundrie report. Have you heard from that yet?
I have not.
Is there a criminality suspected in the case, or is it just a missing?
Right now, we are investigating a missing person case.
Okay, so these questions by the reporter, unfortunately, are low. They asked, is this a homicide investigation or a missing persons case? And he said, this is a missing persons case.
Criminality suspected.
None at this time. Right now, it's a missing person case.
Chief, how frustrating is it knowing that the family lives just a short distance away from the police department here? I'm sure your officers have to drive by and talk, and to know that he hasn't given you any sort of assistance.
Well, we share the frustration with the world right now. So, you know, 2 people went on a trip, 1 person returned, and that person that returned isn't providing us any information.
Chief, can you bring Brian Laundrie in for hindering the investigation or for stealing Gabby's car?
Right now, no.
Have you guys learned anything from the van or from the phones at all?
Right now, we're still analyzing all that data, which...
Okay, so they're asking about the electronic devices and iPads and their phones and that data. FBI is doing that forensics. I'm sure Northport PD is not set up for that. The crime lab of the Federal Bureau of Investigation is on this. So you can bet your bottom dollar that anything and everything that they can get, they will get.
It takes time to forensically analyze all that.
Is the Bodycam video out of the lab? Is that offering any sort of insight into what potentially happened? Are you using that as part of your investigation?
We look at everything that's coming in. As far as that having to do anything with the disappearance, we don't know. I mean, yes, they had a disturbance. Yes, it was captured.
Okay, so the reporter asked there, does the domestic or / disorderly report of people acting disorderly on August 12th, does this have anything? They asked them if this ties in. And these are some of the questions that we ask ourselves and ask in the Facebook groups and in the chat. They can't put 2 and 2 together just yet. This takes time. Again, remember, folks, This investigation just started September 11th on Saturday. It's Thursday. By the time Suffolk handed it off to Northport PD, and now they got to connect up with the Moab Police Department over there in that section over in Utah. They got to, all three of them have to get together and figure it out. Take the pieces of the puzzle and put them together.
On body camera, their interaction with law enforcement. But beyond that, I don't know what it has to do with the disappearance.
Do you guys know when exactly Brian left and headed for Florida? We know he came here on the 1st, but do you know when he left from the West Coast, and if there's any indication that Gabby was with him on that trip back?
Right now, we're analyzing that data, so we don't have that timeline narrowed down.
Okay, so they're asking if the reporter asked, do we know if Gabby was with him on parts of the trip back to Florida? So again, what's going to come into play here, folks, is Department of Transportation cameras at the pit stops that he had to have made to stop to get gas, food, relieving himself for the bathroom. So there's going to be a ton of surveillance because he had to have stopped to gas that vehicle up. So there's going to be quite a bit of gumshoe work. And the gumshoe work is the detectives on the ground going to these locations, looking if there's some satellite tracking data from a 2012 Ford van. I don't know if in 2012 they had that technology in the vehicles, but if they did, that's going to be there. His cell phone is going to continually ping along his route, and getting pings from going back from Wyoming or Utah, wherever his last place, last state that he traveled to, whether he did make it to Utah or, Wyoming or not, that is all going to come back with his phone being on. I can guarantee you he didn't shut all of his devices down. So it's going to take time. We're going to need to be patient. The long arm of the law will reach out and figure out what's going on here.
Lot of information.
So let me let this play because I got to show the body cam footage now.
That we have to go through.
Do you know where Brian Laundrie is right now?
Yes.
Do you know where Brian Laundrie is right now? And an unequivocal yes, immediately, yes.
Has the family attorney said anything else in your interaction?
The family attorney arranged to get us some property that we were looking for, and beyond that, no.
You told Schmidt that they last spoke with her daughter on August 30th, or at least someone purporting to be her daughter. Has any forensics been done on her phone? Have the phone records been requested? Have they been provided?
Everything is being forensically analyzed right now, and it takes time.
Including Nicole's phone?
No, we don't have Nicole's phone.
And have you requested it?
Okay, so he answered a question that a lot of people have been asking me. Do they have Nicole's phone? And he just said, no, we don't have it. So again, in my video last night, I said this guy probably took it and threw it out the car window, if in fact that was one of the scenarios. But thank you for the super sticker, E&E all around crime. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to go right on to the body cam footage now. Let me segue off of this. So that was the news conference that happened today, earlier in the day. Again, a disclaimer at the 13 minute and 30 second mark. This is anyone that suffers from PTSD or, seeing these two together could be triggering for some of you guys. I just want to let you know, I'm going to show the police body cam footage, which is readily available and public information. Again, this is not anything exclusive. You could see this all over the internet, but I'm going to give you a little bit of my take on the body cam footage. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't like to Monday morning quarterback anybody. And these police officers are going to be going over this in their minds again and again, because no one in that position could have predicted that she would have vanished and gone missing without a trace. And her fiance, who they were interviewing for over an hour, would have lawyered up and refused to cooperate. These police officers, and there was a female police officer there, which was great. Great that they got a female police officer. Hi, Dr. Sexy. Hello, Charleston Amy. Hi, Black Rose 11. M is Patch. Everybody's jumping in. Katie, great to see you, Katie, during the day. So these police officers, I feel, did what they had to by the letter of the law. We can argue and we can agree to disagree that they should have done more. Like some people would said to me messages, DutyRon, they should have locked her up and him up and then figured it out later. You know, in New York, it's a little different. The NYPD, if they have such a situation like that, it's almost like a must arrest situation. But out east and in rural areas, they may do things a little differently than what we do it. So I can't even say I don't know what their procedure is. Their police procedure is different than New York jurisdiction. We have a must arrest. If there's scratches on his face, scratches on his arm, we would lock him up, and then she would probably say, well, he came at me, and it would be a cross complaint, and we would lock both of them up. That's how that would have probably have gone in the 5 boroughs in New York City. I'm just saying. So, all right, here we go with the body cam footage. Again, if at any time you feel this is too much for you, please step down. All right, let me get it back to the beginning because I was watching it myself before I'm playing it here. All right, let me fast forward this.
Subject just hit the curb. Correction, speed limit is 15.
Hold on, guys. I'll put it back.
I'm about 3/4 of a mile into the arches, just before the gate.
I'm going to put this back because I want you to hear how...
Going through here is 25. Oh! Subject said showing some obscure driving.
Listen to how this officer goes, oh!
Currently doing 45 miles an hour. Zone through here is 25. Oh!
That's when he hit the curb.
Subject just hit the curb.
And he says these might be DWI.
Correction, speed limit is 15.
He said he was going
I'm about
15.
3/4 of a mile into the arches, just before the gate.
He's talking to dispatch. He says 15 and 45.
You want to place your vehicle in the park and go ahead and turn it off for me?
There's a lot of road noise here, guys.
Okay, turn off your engine. Go ahead and set your keys on the dash for me. All right. What's your guys' names?
Gabby.
Gabby, Brian. Okay. What's going on? How come you're crying?
I'm just sorry. We've just been fighting this morning. Some personal issues.
Said we've been fighting.
We were camping yesterday and camping got the stuff, supplies and stuff. I'm sorry I hit the bump there.
I was distracting him from driving. I'm sorry.
Can I get you to step out of the vehicle for me, man?
Yeah.
Just hang tight right there. Do you mind if I take your keys and just put them on your hood?
You got it, buddy. I'm so
Thank
sorry.
you. Oh, no, you're fine.
I want to point out something here. This officer immediately senses that there's something wrong here because there's no reason to take her out of the vehicle if she was calm, cool, and collective. He would have just asked questions from outside. Because in a car stop like this, you don't want to really start pulling people out of the car when you don't have assistance. You know, if the passenger had a weapon or something like that for safety reasons, you want to wait till the backup comes before you start pulling people out of vehicles. Because you can only be in one spot at one time. So it was actually a little dangerous to pull her out, but he did it because she was so emotional and he sensed that there was something wrong. So kudos to this officer here.
I'm going to go ahead and close your door. Okay? Why don't you come over here?
And notice he had him take his keys out of the car. He was going to put them and place them on the front windshield so he can't pull off or drive away.
SO229, I had the female that was on the passenger seat separated from the male. Keys are on the hood. You want to tell me what's wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just some days I have really bad OCD, and I was just cleaning and straightening up back of the van before, and I was apologizing to him and saying, I'm sorry that I'm so mean, because sometimes I have OCD and sometimes I just get really frustrated. Not like mean towards him, I just like...
She was basically saying here, and I'm not going to keep doing this, but I just have to do this early on. she was apologizing for being OCD about clean. She said his feet are dirty and he gets in the van, and she's probably a clean freak. She likes to have things nice and clean. My wife is the same way. She doesn't like things all messy and dirty. Of course, you're out. Look at this backdrop. You're in the mountains, and you're out. And every picture that I've seen of this guy on his Instagram and on her social media, he's always barefoot. He's in the sand. He's in the dirt. He's always got dirt all over him. And it sounds like this is what she's explaining to this officer that was going on, that she was being telling him, to keep it clean and things of that nature, but she's blaming herself. And that's the sad part, is that I see in a lot of domestic violence cases is that the actual person who the domestic violence is being perpetrated against 9 times out of 10 apologizes for the things that they're doing. And that's sad in itself right here. So I'll let the rest of it go.
I guess my vibe is like I am like in a bad mood. And I was just saying, I'm sorry if I'm in a bad mood. I've just been really stressed. I had so much work I was doing on my computer this morning.
What do you do for a living?
Well, I used to work at an organic juice bar, but I just quit my job.
Okay.
I was a nutritionist. That's my job.
Cool.
And I just quit my job to travel across the country, and I'm trying.
So I don't know if you guys can hear what she's saying, because there's a lot of road noise, but she was telling him that she just quit her job and she was a nutritionist, and that they're traveling the country in the van. So I don't know if you guys can hear that through here, because in my headphones, it just sounds like a lot of noise from the cars. But she's basically telling him that she quit her job and that she was a nutritionist, and that she went on, is on this trip with her fiance.
To start a blog and just have a blog and stuff. So I've been building my website. So I've just been really stressed, and he doesn't really believe that I could do any of it. So that's kind of been like I don't know. He's like been down there. I don't know. We've just been fighting all morning, and
the bruise that you're referring to on her left upper arm is a tattoo. It's right up and in here. I got my cursor around it. So somebody in the chat said, do you see a bruise on her arm? This is a tattoo. It's right up in this elbow area right here. So that's a tattoo.
And he wouldn't let me in the car before. And then
Why wouldn't he let you in the car? Because of your OCD?
He told me I needed to calm down. Yeah. But I'm perfectly calm. I'm calm all the time. And he really stresses me out. And this is a rough morning.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I sit you down in the back seat of my car? You're not in any trouble, okay? I'm not going to be putting handcuffs on you. You obviously don't have any weapons. I'm going to get you into the air conditioning, let you take a breath, relax a little bit, and then I'll come back and talk to you in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I got to say, this officer did a great job throughout this whole thing of trying to keep her calm. He was very compassionate. He was very soothing. I give this guy right up throughout this whole thing an A+. He really did a nice job of trying to calm her down, and you could see that he really cared. So that was the good part of this.
Like I said, you're not in any trouble.
Yeah, it keeps a reminder you're not in any trouble. That's to calm her down. Listen, I'm going to put you in my police car, but you're not getting arrested. You're not under arrest. I'm just going to put you in here so we could talk to him, and I want you to calm down.
Just go ahead and take a seat.
Yeah, and for the record, I don't doubt that this was a bad situation that happened out at that health food store where they were eating. The guy, Chris, who called the police, saw something that he was not comfortable with. And kudos to that person who made that phone call. I think it was more than one person that called. They noticed that this was not a good situation and it needed to be called in. So this is a great classic example of a civilian seeing something and saying something. So had he not made those phone calls, had people just minded their own business, we wouldn't have had any of this documentation. And this police body cam footage, as some of you might not realize, it's very significant. It's very significant, and it's very important that we see this, because as this case progresses and as things unfold, these are going to be parts of the evidence and the investigation that they're going to be put into place to show what was happening with the two of them as soon as law enforcement definitively figures out what happened.
What's that?
Talk to Gabby, right?
Yeah, I just spoke to her. So, you want to do me a favor? Let's go ahead and get you to step out of the vehicle, alrighty? Come on over here. You're not in any trouble right now. So, tell me what's going on.
She just gets worked up sometimes, and I try and really distance myself from her. So, like, I locked the car and I walked away from her. What happened this morning is that she's trying to start up like her own little website blog and everything. So, I give her time. We really had a nice morning, if anything, but she just got worked up because we were trying to get going and get our day going because we want to go like Archie's before the stuff every time.
Okay. You want to tell me about those scratches on your face?
She had a cell phone in her hand. That's why I was pushing her away, because she wanted I locked the keys so I could walk away. I said, let's just take a breather and let's not go anywhere. Let's just calm down for a minute because she was getting a little worked up. And then she had her phone and was trying to get the keys to her, so I got away. I was just trying to. I know I shouldn't push, but I was just trying to push her away to go. Let's just take a minute, step back, and breathe. And she got me with her phone.
Can I see your hand? Oh, you got a mark right here.
Oh, that's from a wire.
That's from a wire?
Yeah.
You want to tell me?
Yeah, so he has, and this, we're able to look at this after the fact, that the bruising and the things on his hand and the scratches are indicative of a fight, and either her putting up her fingernails or her hands and scratching him. This is obvious signs of either the struggle that happened prior to the 911 call, or even days prior to this. We don't know how old these scrapes or cuts are. From this video, you can't really tell, but what this officer did later on, which was smart, he took pictures of he made him pull his shirt up. He took photographs of it. He took it with his cell phone, so it's going to be high quality photos. And this is all parts of what law enforcement does to preserve evidence. And even though this guy didn't get arrested and she didn't get arrested and the things didn't fall in place the way we wanted them to fall in, because we have the advantage of looking at this afterwards and Monday morning quarterbacking it. It's not a good thing to do because, again, these guys had to make decisions in the field, and then the decision that they ultimately made, obviously we weren't happy with, but I don't think we would have been happy with any decision they made, but here we are. Let's let this go.
About hitting that curb?
Hitting the curb was her grabbing the wheel.
She grabbed the wheel?
Yeah. She said, I can't believe we're getting pulled over, and then she grabbed the wheel.
What about the speed? Did she take over the pedal on you?
If I was going fast, I'm sorry. No, it's probably just the moment of, I'm still shaking now. The adrenaline, seeing the lights flashing up, and then her gripping the wheel. So if I sped up, I'm sorry about that. Or if I was speeding beforehand, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it took quite a bit to catch up to you.
I mean, you can see right here on the right side of his face. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor. Let me know in the chat by putting a 1 if you could see this cursor. I guess I got to change the color of it. But I'm just falling over on his, if he's facing us. So this is his right side. You could see bruising down here on his cheek. Let me know in the chat if you could see my cursor right down. His eye looks swollen right here. Okay, and this would be the side that would be facing her in the passenger seat. So again, this is what the police have to look at and take into account, that he told them that she hit him with her cell phone right here. And you can see the under part of his eye is swollen here, and his left hand has got some scratches and things of that nature on it. I would like to look here and see if his right hand has stuff on it as well, because that would be facing towards her in the car.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. We're just going into the park again to get water because we have a 6-gallon water container to fill up. So we're just grabbing water to fill the hike. Okay. And I was trying to keep everything.
So he's saying they're going into the park to get water, to fill up a 6-gallon jug of water.
I'm really sorry about that.
Of course. do me a favor. You want to go ahead and just take a seat right over here on the curb for me?
And if I was speeding, I'm sorry. I apologize.
You don't have anything in that pocket or anything like that, do you?
Nope.
Just the wallet? All right. And then, do you mind lifting your shirt so I can check the waistband? Turn around for me real quick. Perfect. I just
want to look for a weapon, see if he had a gun on him.
Take a seat, all right?
That's a typical gun check right there.
Oh, do you have your ID on you?
In the car, if you want to come with me,
No, we'll just do this. Just go ahead and take a seat.
You come with me, I'll give it to you.
Oh, you're fine. What's your first name?
Brian?
Brian? Is that layman spelling?
B-R-I-N, yeah, and L-A-U-N.
And then your last name?
L-A-U-N.
L-A-U-N.
So right here, you could really see good. I don't know if you guys press a 1 on the chat if you could see good here. There is definitely bruising and swelling here under his eye and on.
For me. SO229. I need a 29 name and date of birth. First name Brian, layman spellings. Last name Laundry. Lima Alpha Uniform. November Delta Romeo India.
All right, parts of this will be bleeped out because they're just for privacy protection. I'm keeping his date of birth out.
Where'd you hit him? You slapped him first? On his face? How many times did you slap?
Bravo Romeo India Alpha November.
And then what? And his reaction was to do what?
It's going to be out of Florida.
He just grabbed you? Did he hit you though? I mean,
They're continuing to just ask her pedigree questions, and this is the officer who takes charge of this, the bearded officer, and they're just asking her more questions.
where did he hit you? Don't worry. Be honest.
Right there, he asked her, where did he hit you? And she showed that he grabbed her by the face. Did you guys see that she said she showed that she showed with her own hands that he grabbed her like by the cheeks, with his hand at her face, because he's asking her what did he do to you?
Did you slap in your face or what? Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. So has he been drinking?
No, we don't care.
Okay. What was up with his driving? This officer said he hit a curb.
I
While you're driving? While he was driving, you were hitting him? Did you already tell him all this?
I didn't get that far into
Okay,
it. She was hyperventilating
She's
a
saying
little
that
bit.
they don't drink, but at the point when you lit them up,
You don't drink or anything.
She started hitting him.
I was yelling at him, and then when you turned your lights on, I kind of punched his arm like this.
that she's saying was why he hit the curb. You said it was Gabby? I'm sorry, I really thought it was Gabby.
Yeah.
And so she's saying that she punched him in the arm because to notify him that you were being pulled over. That's what she was saying there. Dylan, good to see you. Thanks for joining
Try to
us.
meditate stuff, but you tend to have a lot of anxiety and stress.
I have a lot of anxiety.
And what's his name? Is it Brian? Is he usually pretty patient with you?
Yeah, but it just makes me upset. I know that he definitely gets frustrated with me a lot.
The audio intentionally is being cut off by them because there's sensitive information that they don't want you to hear.
Way of taking my anxiety and bringing it down, but my ex-wife, as much as my ex-wife, I'm just sharing. I know it's a little personal, but to help you understand, we would feed off each other's anxiety and it would spiral. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter how much I loved her. It may be bad for your soul. Just saying. I'm not telling you what to do with your life, but if you know you have anxiety, look at the situations you can get in. You know what I mean? And we're not here to be mean to you or anything. Well, you know, there's a first time, and then it usually.
All right. So he just gave her an analogy of anxiety and how to deal with it. So this officer here to the right, he's got a beard, and he was just trying to calm her down and say, hey, listen, you know, we all go through this, and he got her to kind of laugh and smile there. So he was doing. Really, you know, we always say we're not only just cops and law enforcers, we're social workers a little bit, and we're also shrinks. We talk to people and we talk people down from bad situations, and that's what he was trying to do, is just de-escalate it and get her to be calm. And I think that they did an okay job with it. You know, they did a good job.
We'll go see what Brian's saying, but I think you've heard everything now from.
Quick question. You said you were hitting him in the arm. Did you grab the steering wheel?
No, I didn't.
You did not touch the
I
steering
didn't touch
wheel?
the steering wheel, but only for like a second, because I just saw the lights come on, and it was more just like, you're an idiot. Like, you know.
But did you grab the steering wheel and like
No.
swerve or anything like that?
No.
All right. So she contradicts his story because he said that she grabbed the steering wheel and that was the reason they hit the curb. So he points this out, the officer. As you could see, that's not a bruise. That's a tattoo right there on her inner part of her arm. But so this is important right here.
I didn't touch the steering wheel at all.
I'm going to go ahead and close this door again. Do you have enough air back here, or do you want me to kick it up some more?
Do you have any water?
I will see if I can find some.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Those are tattoos. There's one on her wrist, on her right wrist, and there's one on her left arm. Those are not bruises. Those are tattoos.
You wouldn't happen to have any water, would you?
There's the female officer. That's good that they got her on the scene.
Did you already give a statement to this officer? I got this gentleman here. Yeah. This gentleman noticed that you had some marks on your neck. Yeah. And she's got some marks on her too. We're just trying to figure out what all happened. And I started saying, no, it's okay. Thank you.
They're just offering them water here.
So it was just more disagreement, and I just wanted to.
What was the disagreement about?
It was. I wouldn't even call it disagreement. It was just that I'm dirty and I can't change being dirty. Like I got dirty feet, I got sand on my flip flops and stuff like that. It was that we were at the coffee shop for so long because we were there from 9 to 3. So yeah, there's a few little things, little relationships. I don't know if you're in a relationship, but I'm sure
I've been married for over 5 years now. So.
There's a lot of little things.
Yeah, I can go.
And
I get it.
We weren't physical before the point where I said, all right, let's just take a breather and like walk away for a minute. I'll lock the van up and I'll go for a walk this way, and you can go walk that way on the block. You know, there's that moon.
So he's telling his story about what happened back at the health food store. I think they were at like a vegan spot. He was saying there was a lot of little things going on. I told her to go this way, I'll go that way, but in fact he locked her out of the car and was going to drive away. So he didn't tell them that.
Flowers, right, you know, nice areas. You can go either way. It's all shaded, so let's go for a little walk and breathe and come back. Because we're never happy with it. I'm not upset with her. She got worked up and she had a phone in her hand and keys and everything. She wanted, not her keys, her rings, her phone. And I was holding on to the keys because I didn't want to go anywhere. And my big fear is, I don't have my phone. I don't have a phone. So she goes off without me. But I'm on my own. So I was saying, let's just go for a walk. And she was trying to get the keys for me. So I was just going, just wait back up. And that's when she hit me. And I didn't get, I don't want to push you, but I didn't get overtly physical. I was just trying to keep her away and not get hit. And then I got really loud. And like, that's probably everyone's attention where I was going, you know, back up, get away, just give me a...
Okay, so you said you pushed her to create some distance, obviously, right? What happened after that? What got the scratches on your arm?
The phone.
The phone? So you pushed her and she hit you?
She was... It wasn't like a push and she jumped on me. She was she was already, I don't want to, she was already swinging, and I was a lot of angles, a lot of nails, a lot of rings.
Yeah, you got 3 scratches in your neck. You got 1 on your left side of your neck. You got 1 in your face here, and you got 4 bleeding over there.
All right, so he's pointing out the injuries to his face. This officer, this is a park ranger, U.S. park ranger. He's pointing out the apparent visible injuries to his face. So now he goes on.
Let's try it out. Looks like 2 minutes. Do you mind lifting up your right sleeve for me? I'm curious about something.
So he's asking to see his right arm because, again, I said his right arm would have injuries if they were fighting and he was driving and she was in the passenger seat. And it looks like he does have bruising on his arm and stuff like that. That could have been from the past. It could have been from current.
I suppose fingernails, but I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining about
Is it bruised or tender or anything like that?
No. Okay. I'm fine. I love Gabby. I hope she...
He said, are you bruised or you tender? And he said, no, I'm fine. I'm fine.
He doesn't have too many complaints about me. I'm just, I feel bad I can get so public. I was just trying to be loud to get some business. I try to make her calm down and be like, look, everyone's watching. And like, stop this.
Thank you. I got a quick question for you, Ryan. Do you take any medications or anything like that?
This is because of HIPAA laws. They have to blurb that out. He's talking about medication.
You don't take any medications or anything like that? Okay. Are you normally this kind of like hyper?
Do I see my heart rate up whenever the lights flash on? It gets your heart rate up. Do I see my...
Trust me, it does me too, and I'm the one that it gets me going.
You probably can say, hey, buddy, whenever somebody walks up.
So, okay. Yeah, do you know if she takes anything?
She's crazy. No, I don't think so. No, none that I know of.
All right.
I don't think so, Katie. You can't just base it about his odd smile. You need a lot more than just that.
Real fast, can I get your first name?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle, how do you spell that?
G-A-B-R-I-L-L.
And your last name? B-E-T? P. I-C-O. You guys both live in Florida, right? Or that's where you guys come from?
My license is Florida right now, but I'm from Florida.
So that's where you have it out of currently? That's a I need a 20.
Lieutenant Pete, good to see you. Thanks for joining Lieutenant Branzo.
First name, Gabrielle. Golf, Alpha, Bravo, Romeo, India, Echo, Lima, Echo. Last name, Petito.
All right, he's just conducting a warrant check on her and on him. So he's running their names in the National Crime Computer, NCIC. They're doing a check on them to make sure they don't have no wants or warrants. So that's what's going on here.
It's going to be Florida.
Denise Spalding, thank you for the super chat before. Thank you for that generous $50 super chat. Thank you.
Where does live? Georgia? Florida. Florida, yeah, was our last guess. Still get down there. How long have you been on this trip? 4 to 5 months out. You're up to 5. What was the determinants? What was the influence? Moving to a new place?
We're going to Portland. So her grandmother's best friend lives in Portland. We stayed there. 2 years ago, we did a one-shot movie trip, which we loved. We were given a Nissan Sentra, like a tiny little car. So I was like, let's do it better. And let's get a big van. Not a big, tiny van. But
He's just telling a story that how they upgraded to that van. They had a small little Nissan Sentra. He's just, chatting it up with them. But they bring him over to the side of the van and they make him pull his shirt up and take pictures of him and everything.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'm from California originally.
Oh, yeah.
So, and part of my job, I dealt with employees that were from all across the United States, in Washington, Oregon, California, Nevada, everything you can think of on your level Western. I know most of them.
It's worldwide opportunities on organic farms. So it's like a volunteer work-away type of situation where you can work on organic farms. So that's our goal once we get over to Washington. We'll do that from Washington, then down to Oregon, and down to California. So I'm close to that. What part of California is that?
I'm from a town just outside Sequoia National Park.
If you're
going to be going through there,
we'll get good in the way about Georgia.
Good. But no, it wasn't too bad at all.
I phoned with one of the two witnesses, and I reported it. You want me to tell you what he said? Yeah. Real quick. Do you mind hanging with him for a bit? Yeah.
I think CK will get you a hotel. If you want her to have the van, you don't care. It's up to you. But we'll give it that.
He walks off here and he talks to his supervisor.
Witnesses say were caused like a slapping. And you say you slapped him and we're guessing the first. I don't have anyone saying he actually punched you aggressively. It sounds like it was shoving in a manner that was probably more consistent with trying to prevent you from entering the van or to get space from you, not to slap the same. If that makes sense. So if the tables were turned and he was beating on you and you were shoving him, of course we're going to look at it like, oh, of course he's defending himself to get away from this guy. But we're kind of looking at it the same way with him. We have to take both care, even if he was a bigger male or he was a small female. The law doesn't say, hey, Officer Pratt, Officer Roberts, you can treat people different based on gender under the sanction we can. Even if it makes no sense, you probably would not physically destroy this man.
This is Officer Roberts. Hey, how's it going?
I just want you to know that they were just talking to her about what they were about to do at that point. They were just trying to give her the analogy of what they're faced and what they're going to do about separating them, because it's not a good idea that they're together for the night.
Because there was an assault that took place and you were obviously showing signs of the strikes. Do you mind if I take pictures of the injuries that you sustained? I know it's not super severe. I mean, you want me to call? I mean, I can call the EMS if you want me to. You don't seem like you want to go that far.
If you don't take a photo, you can take a photo.
Yeah, I need to take pictures for my evidence, because otherwise it's going to be your say, let's say, my say, and the court's going, oh, so I have to do this part of it already. So it's just going to be a couple of pictures.
All right, now he just told him he has to take pictures of the evidence because it could be his word against her word, and he tells him he's going to take pictures of him, and he agrees to it.
Is your okay?
Yes. Like your phone, do you not know where it is?
Yeah,
without going for where
Yeah,
is it?
just hang it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me if you don't mind me grabbing it.
I can grab it because it's in a spot.
Why not go with you? Where are we going in the car?
Right face, neck. One of his ring fingers, I think, has got a scratch on it. And then you saw her earlier.
Yeah, I saw it. Well, I was trying to build some consistency between stories. And then let me see your hand.
So that was Gabby's phone that he just took out of the car in the passenger side. So he's given the phone. The officer's taking pictures. You see his hand shaking. I would say this: anybody would be shaking in this position. I mean, you could stop by the police and you get nervous, but he was visibly shaken there, and you could see his hands are shaky.
From her, it's just I want to document everything. And then your right arm. Yeah, have anything on the other arm, on your back, chest, anything like that? Let me get your neck real quick as well. You want to kind of tilt your head off to the right and look up. This way? And then look up. There you go. I don't know. And then this is just for precautions. You mind lifting your shirt for me? We can go back here if you want some privacy. I want to, like I said, I want to do a very thorough job. I want to make sure that you don't have any additional injuries you don't even know about.
I don't know how I'm good.
You mind put your collar down for me a little bit?
Okay, I just want to say I watched this myself, and a whole lot didn't happen in the time that I skipped over it. So, for those of you who think that I skipped over a lot of parts, I'm just skipping over it because there was a lot of nothing that would be pertaining to this. There was a lot of just idle chatter, and I just skipped over it to just spare us all that extra time. So now they're taking pictures of the potential injuries, the injuries to him that could potentially be used in a case if she decided she wanted to press charges or he wanted to press charges. And all of this is routine stuff in a situation like this. In New York, Shannon, you got it right. In New York City, they both would have been arrested. In New York City, they both would have been arrested.
She's got her cell phone. She's calling her parents just to feel better. She doesn't want to not be with him tonight.
There's no choice in the matter.
Yeah.
So
that's what he's calling the supervisor. At least that's what he said.
Again, in New York State, that's a must arrest. You would go to arrest her, and then she would say, well, he hit me, and then it would be a cross complaint, and they both would wind up getting locked up. But would they be held for a long time? No, they'd be held overnight, and they'd be released in the morning. So it wouldn't have, I don't think it would have affected the outcome, because they both would have gotten out, and they both would have gotten back together. And whatever happened after this point, we don't know, and we got to try to figure that out. Police department wise has to try to figure that out.
Right. He said she was, and that's what caused him to hit the curb. She said that she got her.
All right, so the inventory in the back of the van, the police officers letting him look through the van. And I guess she's getting her stuff. He's getting his stuff for overnight, because they've already told him that he's going to be staying, that they're going to separate them. So.
But she said she did try to hurt him. It wasn't a little.
You would say that she openly admitted to me earlier that she was striking him in the arm. He said that she was.
She's 22 and Brian's 23. They both went to high school together in Blue Point, Long Island, and now they're here in Utah.
I might have just told myself probably.
No, she said that too, but she started just distracting him by hitting him, and then he probably looked at her, and that's why the mark got on the side. And she said it was her fault because she was distracting him by hitting him. But she said she did try to hurt him. It wasn't malicious. She thought that he wasn't listening to her.
So assault isn't.
The fact that they ran both of their names and they came back squeaky clean with no a record or no wants or hits wouldn't indicate leniency in a domestic violence assault. I don't know the procedure. Again, I don't know how they do it over here, but I know that if I was given that set of circumstances, and I called my sergeant there. Now, I think he called the sergeant on a phone. I'm pretty sure. I didn't see any supervisor on the scene. I didn't see any sergeant stripes. I didn't see any boss. I know that a New York City police sergeant would make us arrest both of them. It would be cross complaints in this situation, but we're not in New York City, and this didn't happen there.
Attempt with unlawful force or violence to do bodily injury to another. The code for bodily injury, the definition says, bodily injury is infliction of pain or physical impairment or illness. So you can go I'm recording, and society and the judges and everyone can judge me for this. I am looking at a 110-pound female and her fiance who have no means to be separated. He doesn't want to pursue it. She's not a threat to him, more than slight abrasions from her fingernails. I don't care if we use the actual letter of the law to not charge, but I also don't care because it literally does possibly make perfect sense to go full-on domestic assault and do the whole thing. This is your opportunity to make the decision. Let's.
Sounded like me there that this officer in front of us is asking the actual car stop, who's the officer of record, to make a decision, and it's now the audio is blocked off. It sounded like this officer in front of us was saying it's your call. Now, I don't know if this guy's a supervisor. I doubt it, because if he was the supervisor, he wouldn't have said that to him. And now they're conversating, but we can't hear what they're saying. He's already getting his bag. Brian, the fiance, is getting his knapsack, and he knows that he's staying overnight at a hotel. So this was the 12th of August, and I believe the last FaceTime call with Gabby and her mom was the 24th. So 12 days later, she had a FaceTime call with her. If she's in the hospital or was hospitalized, the police would be able to get all that information. So that's a stretch for people to say that she's in the hospital somewhere.
Go handling that guy. Yeah. Go handle that guy. Go handle that guy. Okay. If you're more comfortable.
Well, it's 6 one way, half dozen the other. I mean, it's a headache whether I go left or it's a headache whether I go right.
Another option is to not charge them but separate them for the night. If they find themselves together again, what is it to you? You separated them. You provided for his safety. If he doesn't have enough sense to stay away and you got him separated, it's on him.
We can't babysit them all night. That's not what I do. So it's up to them.
You can separate him and say, don't let us go off till tomorrow. If they don't let it go off and we hear about it, we'll hear about it.
We're camping in the park tonight. We'll let you know.
And if there's some fighting going on, you already was Mr. Nice Guy. You already gave him a chance. What you can't do by law is separate someone and say, if we hear from you again, we're going to arrest them. Because then if one of them really needs help, they may not call police and you get help. The law says you cannot, literally, you may not say, we get more problems with you guys tonight. One of you is going to jail. You can't threaten like that. Right. It's true because it stops if you want to call the police to get help. Does that make sense? Right. So go full or nothing or in between and separate them and kind of give them the nod, the wink, like, hey, just stay separated. It's up to you. I'm going to go handle that. You got very capable help with you here, and I trust you.
I will. Alrighty, man. So we're still going to be going through. I do need some things from you, though. Do you mind if I get a picture of your driver's license?
Yeah, of course. I was thinking it was in parts like that. This is me.
Uh-oh.
I know this man has hair.
You said that this is still your mailing address, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the right way. Alright, and then... Ryan, what is your phone number?
Awesome. Thank you guys for helping us.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Have a good day. My phone number? Yeah.
So it sounds like that guy just left. The bearded officer left and said, you guys handle this however you see fit. So it was a judgment call by the responding officer. Again, we from location to location, things will change, from state to state.
Can I get your phone number?
It should just be in like Zion.
Okay, do you have any problems with me taking a picture of it? I have to have IDs and stuff like that for my investigation. Here. So, this is what I'm going to do. I've decided I am not going to cite you for domestic violence battery, okay? It was...
He just told her, I just decided I'm not going to cite him or you for domestic violence. So...
only going to be a Class B misdemeanor. However, the domestic violence portion of it enhances it. Makes life a major pain in the butt, especially at you're 22, right? So I'm choosing not to cite you today. So you are not going to be charged with it. All right? But this is what I do have to do. I am separating the two of you tonight. Okay? I want you guys both to be tonight away from each other, relax, breathe, crying, because there's no reason to be crying now, okay? This is, I understand that this can feel like it's a nightmare, but you're coming out as the golden flower on top of it, okay? So, you're going to be taking the van tonight, and you're going to go somewhere else. I am going to get him lined up for the hotel room tonight. I want you guys to stay away from each other. For both of you guys' sake. From what you told me and what he told me, you guys have a bunch of little things that are building up, and finally the little string that you guys were tight walking on the road tonight. Does that sound about right? So, I just want everybody to breathe, get a chance away from each other, go eat a meal, talk to your parents, whatever it is you got to do.
In here?
Yeah.
Just totally sorry. So, like I said, that's what I'm going to be doing tonight. Hold on. This is Officer Robbins. Thank you, Phil. I appreciate your time. All right. So, I've got him a hotel room tonight. So, here in just a minute, I have to keep you guys separated. For right now, don't contact each other or don't wave at him. Okay? Do you want me to say anything to him? Because I can do that for you. You want me to let him know that you love him and that you'll see him tomorrow and stuff like that? I can do that
Make
for you.
sure he doesn't forget a phone charger. That would be good.
Oh, he's bad about that too?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make sure that he has a phone charger. Okay? And if I...
he walked her into saying, you know, do you want me to tell him that you love him? And like he didn't even give her a chance to say it on her own, but she said, yeah, she agreed to that. But she also said, make sure he has a phone charger so I can communicate with him. In the breath right before that, the officer said, don't text him, try not to communicate with him. I mean, of course, they can't force her not to communicate with them. So what I'm saying here, and the reason I bring this up is investigation will retrieve every message back and forth from them. So in other words, if say right now, this is the 12th, he goes to that hotel, where does she go? She sleeps in the van, locks the doors, sleeping somewhere by herself. They start communicating with each other and he makes threatening communication to her. That's all going to come out in the investigation. So that's why you heard the police chief in Northport say the forensics for the computers and phones are going to be an intricate part of this investigation. And they're living for over a month at this point. They left July 2nd from New York to go on this tour, this going from state to state. They were living in the middle of nowhere, in the wilderness, in dirt, in mud. If it rained, they had no bathrooms. They had to go to places where they could use bathrooms, no running water. Everything that we are used to, they're doing with this van life and living off the grid. They're going to be dirty. There's going to be dirt under their nails. There's going to be dirt on his feet. There's going to be bugs everywhere. They're not in a place. They're not living in an RV that has running water and a bathroom and a hookup, and they're in a van. They're basically sleeping in a van. So that's how it goes. So if she's got a little dirt or he's got a little dirt under his nails, that's normal for that. You got to realize what they're doing.
If I have anything else, please keep your cell phone on so I can call you if I have any questions. All right? All right. So just kind of sit tight for me real fast. I'm going to talk to Brian. All right, Brian, a couple things.
The reason he got the hotel is they paint in the report and in this whole thing, he was the victim. She wasn't the victim. He had those injuries, according to the officers. They made a determination that she inflicted the injuries and all the stuff to him, and she somewhat corroborated that with them by telling him, "Yeah, I was hitting him, I was doing this." So they put him in the hotel where you would say they should have put the girl in the hotel and let him live in the van. I mean, that makes more sense to me, but I think they only could have gotten him that free hotel if they made him a victim in that report. So why leave a 22-year-old alone? I agree. I 100% agree. So it is what it is.
Couple things. One, I got your hotel room tonight.
Thank you. It's going outside.
So
I like outside.
Number two, and this is probably the biggest one. She claims that she did not have intent to hurt you when she was slapping at you. So technically speaking, it does not fit the letter of the code. So I am not going to be charging her with DV. Exactly. So this is what I am going to do, however. I'm not going to release you guys together. I want you guys to stay away from each other tonight. Okay? She's agreed to it. Take some time to yourselves. You guys both have the exact same story as to what led up to the incident. So, taking some time tonight, specifically, taking tonight away from each other is going to be the major breaker in all of this. I think that will help you guys, especially tomorrow when you guys meet up. So she does have a couple of messages for you. One, she said she loved you. She's looking forward to seeing you tomorrow. Two, don't forget a cell phone charger.
Yeah, good. He watched me fumble around the entire 3 laps around the car to find one.
Yeah, find one? Find one. Okay. The other thing is I don't want you guys to contact each other.
No,
okay, unless
when he said that she gonna text me or whatever, I was gonna send her a message. Said, please don't message me, but I love you. But
tonight,
don't do anything. Yeah.
And she's passing on her love and saying goodnight and stuff like that. All that do stuff that I do to my wife too. Okay, so
I appreciate it coming from you.
Just so don't. Just try to not contact each other unless, like I said, earth shattering, something happens, you guys have to jump in the car right now and drive back to Florida because something happened with parents. That kind of circumstance. Yeah, you go. Exactly. Other than that, just have a meal by yourself, catch your breath. You're going to be in a hotel room, watch some TV. It's probably been a few months since you actually got to sit down, relax, and some air conditioning and watch TV. So take some time to your guys' selves. Yeah, take a shower, man. You got to change your clothes. You got some Tonys in there, right? All right, good. Because they're going to have everything that you need. Shit, shampoo, conditioner, all that good stuff. All right? Our main concern is make sure that you have cell phone charger so you guys can get away. Okay?
I really appreciate it.
So, I am going to walk her over here to the car. Okay? And if you'll just go stand over here in front of his pickup real quick, we'll get her out of here and I'll be right over here. All righty? You give her my key. Absolutely. Alrighty, Gabrielle, you want to step out for me? As you can see, I have keys in my hand, which is good, okay? So, something that I do, that I emphasize to him, and I don't know if I emphasize to you or not, don't text each other tonight. He wants to pass on the same message you passed to him. He's really looking forward to talking to you again, but I told him and you, unless there's earth-shattering emergency news, don't text tonight, okay? Even with the good nights, I love you. He's saying good night now. He's saying he loves you now, and you guys can talk tomorrow morning, okay? He's going to go to the hotel. I'm going to give you the keys to the van. I'm going to get you home. All righty? So, here's that. I'm giving him a ride over to the hotel, okay? So, everything's going to be okay.
Will it be a far drive for me to get him in the morning? I'm just curious.
I'm not going to tell you where he's going to be at tonight.
I know.
Like I said, I want you guys to be separated. But I can tell you this.
I just don't usually drive the van, so I just want to make sure it's not like far away.
No. It's up.
Okay.
It's basically from here to Moonflower.
Okay.
Okay? It's not far at all. So, let's get you in the van. Let's get you on your way. Alrighty? Do you want that Gatorade, by the way?
Okay.
You got enough water? Also, something I want you to know. Here, stand over here real fast for me. If you go over to City Market, they have a list of places where you can get yourself a shower for like $4 or $5, something like that. They're pretty cheap. A place where you can shower, decompress, de-stress a little bit. Alrighty?
Yeah, I just showered yesterday at one of those.
Well, you didn't have today happen yesterday, so it does my wife wonders. So when she gets stressed out, it's like, get in the shower. Come on,
It does
get in the shower.
sound really relaxing.
Go take.
I think that this was really nice of him to say that, like, oh, here's certain places where you can go to get a shower, get a hot meal or whatever. So that was above and beyond. He was offering her, and you could see the female officer was kind of smiling, the female officer, but he offered her information on places to go. So I think that was a good thing. Some people might take it the wrong way, but he was just trying to be, compassionate. Thank you, Blonderella. Thank you.
Shower, relax, take some time for yourself, and like I said, don't text each other tonight. Text each other tomorrow morning after your eyes open up and you're fully awake, had your coffee or your morning routine, okay? All right, okay. You have a good night, okay?
Yeah, the cop definitely was looking out for her. He saw that this was a 22-year-old girl from New York or from Florida, and again, remember, these officers know for over an hour now they've been talking to these people. They know that they've been on the road doing the van life, living off the grid, camping in the wilderness for they said months, but it really was only just a little bit over a month. So it's not like this is a person like a normal person that not a normal person, but this isn't just like a random person that was driving across country to go see a friend. These are people who are driving across country. She's got a YouTube channel. They're talking about living simple life, simplicity. It's not like she's a brand new rookie at this and then she just was stuck somewhere in the middle of nowhere. This is what they were doing.
All right. Ready for a ride?
Again, for those of you who are saying they should have offered her a hotel, I think they were only able to offer the victim. This was something through victim assistance that they set up for Brian. They gave him this free hotel. It's like sort of like victim assistance kind of services, so social services, where they have this in place. But they're not going to put the potential perpetrator and the victim together. They just don't do that. That's why. I mean, the officer could have offered out of his own goodness of his heart, oh, I'll pay for a hotel in town for you. But officers don't, generally do that.
My door's open. Just climb in the back seat for me. Yeah, you can put your backpack back there too. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Sorry about that approach. I don't know what the hell I was doing.
It's all right. It was an interesting pull-in. So, thanks, Daniel, by the way, I didn't formally introduce myself. I'm Daniel. I'm 229. So if you hear that, you know who you got. 223, Ryan.
So you could clearly see by this that these park rangers and this officer from Moab, they don't know each other. They've never met. They just now are shaking hands and introducing themselves at the end. They never met each other. They didn't know each other. So this was 4 officers, or 5, including the female. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually 6. There was 2 females there. 4 or 5 or 6 officers all got together, and some of them didn't even know each other. So they made a judgment call. We can all sit and Monday morning quarterback this thing up and down till the break of dawn. And we could say, oh, I wish that he would have locked them both up. She would have still been alive. Hi, Richella Pranzo. Good to see you. Guys, let me know if you're new, first time here. put a new in the chat. Just type out new and let me know where you're watching from. I always like to see how many new people tune into these things. We pray for Gabby's mom and dad, her biological father, her stepfather. He is out there in Wyoming. Her dad is there. They did a press conference. I showed a little bit of that. Thank you for being new. Hi, Misty. Hello, Word 789. A lot of new folks piling in. Let me just take my secondary device so I could stop it and say hello to the new people. Reds Dane, thank you for being new. I hope you subscribe. Miss Manda is new. Let's see who else. There's a bunch of people. Reds Dane Ops new. New from my laptop, DX. Thank you for joining. Hello, Sandra Schaefer, new from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. New Bambi from Florida. Cindy Baker, new. All the new folks, if you would please consider subscribing to this channel. I do cover true crime. Hi, Round Rock, Dylan Schrader. Good to see you, Dylan. Duty Blue, as we know him. So yeah, they deemed her, they said she is the primary aggressor, which I feel, looking back at it, that this is probably maybe not the case. We don't know 100%, but you know, again, listen, I don't know, you know, I don't have a crystal ball in my hand. Kyle Veno, thank you for being new from Canada. Good to see you. East Tennessee, Rebecca Lauderdale, thank you for joining. Special thank you to my moderators for being here. Rebecca Lauderdale, thanks for becoming a bronze member. Guys, if you have not yet hit that subscribe button, hit the subscribe, hit the notification bell, consider becoming a channel member. We cover all missing person cases and true crime. As I was playing the end of that video, I got a call from Dave Rader. He is the director of EquiSearch Midwest. I'm sporting my EquiSearch Midwest hat right there. That's Texas EquiSearch. It's a search organization that looks for the missing. And if Gabby's family reaches out to EquiSearch and the police need their help searching for her, I can guarantee you, because I am the law enforcement liaison for EquiSearch, I can guarantee you that if Gabby's parents reach out to EquiSearch and the police request their help in searching, that they will make it happen. Now, they got a lot on their plate, but I'm going to tell you, this organization, EquiSearch Midwest, and Dave Rader, I tell you, he just called me while I was live with you guys. They will drop everything and come and go to Wyoming or Utah or wherever they need to go and help the police search for Gabby. I guarantee it. But we're nowhere near that step right now. The police need to start their initial searches. I don't know if those are even underway, but that is what's EquiSearch is. That's what they do. Vet Girl, thank you for the $5 super chat. Can they bring him back in on domestic call in Utah? No charges at this time. I don't think so. I don't think so, but that could be a possible leverage for them. I'm going to take 2 seconds of a couple of minutes. I guess 2 seconds is too fast. I'll take a couple of minutes to look at the chat and answer some of the questions. All right. But I don't think that's off the table, but I don't think that, because it would involve them bringing him from Florida to Utah just to question him about a simple domestic violence, a domestic assault. That's like an assault 3 family offense. It's the lowest level of an offense. It involves bruising, swelling, things of that nature. It's not an extraditable charge. So even if they fully outright charged him with assault 3 family offense, Utah wouldn't come and extradite him to Utah from Florida. Drones could be great for this search. Nicole Wilson, I'm going to highlight that. That's a great one. Where the hell is it? Where did it go? Well, Nicole, it disappeared on me, but that was a good one. It is true. Drones would be great for a great help in a search for Gabby if need be. All right, let me look at some of this stuff. Shannon, Georgia Peach says, DutyRon, what about him taking her van back without her? They both lived together as domestic partners for 2.5 years. So he didn't steal her van. I know everyone wants that charge and want to say that he stole her van and left her behind. The van, they both use it. He drives it, she drives it. They're engaged. They've been living together for 2.5 years. It would just be like saying, well, if you're hanging out with somebody and you're living with them, you can't use their car. You know, my wife uses my car. I use her car. You know, when we were engaged, we used each other's vehicles. You know, obstruction. Obstruction is, again, a very minor offense. Obstructing justice. He's invoked his Fifth Amendment, the right to remain silent and to retain an attorney. That's a right under our Constitution that we all have. It sucks. I hate it. Paul Peck Drywall, great to see you. Thank you for joining, Paul Peck. I hate the Fifth Amendment in this case. I don't hate it per se. I just hate that he's invoking the Fifth Amendment. And Wolf Girl says, at DutyRon, is it not also because she owns the van, so it would fit that she gets to stay in the van? No, it's basically what I said before. It wasn't about who owns the van, because if he was the aggressor and they determined that she was the victim, she would be able to stay in the hotel. You just can't have them both. You can't have the victim and or the complainant. You can't have them both together. So, again, I appreciate the comments, the questions. Listen, we all hope that she's found and that she's somewhere that, you know, it's a very slim chance that she's alive somewhere, but I hope and pray that slim chance comes to fruition. It's the parents' worst nightmare. And listen, her mom and dad, her mom, Nicole Schmidt, and James, the stepdad, her father, Joe, they're all distraught right now, and they need our prayers and help and hope. Let's hold on to hope here, but it doesn't look good right now. He's lawyered up. This guy's a scumbag, and that's the best that I can say it. That's the best words that I could use without having to get bleeped, because he's a real mother. And I used the F word there, and I bleeped it out. This guy is really a piece of human garbage. And, you know, for him to just sit there and not come forward and at least give some last known location. Let's just say, for argument's sake, she ran off. Why wouldn't you call 911 if that's the person you love? Why wouldn't you go and make a report or call her parents? Hey, Gabby just ran away from me. I'm in Utah or in Wyoming. I don't know where the F she is. Could someone help me? Like, that's common decency. That's what you do for a human being that you love. And he's a scumbag. Like, I mean, this guy is a real piece of human garbage. And I think that the long arm of the law is going to reach out and grab this guy. And all the lawyers in the world, he's got a lawyer from East Islip, New York. So it must be a family friend. This guy that's representing him is from New York. His parents probably got him because they're friends. I guarantee it. Or they know somebody. Oh, this is a friend of a friend. Because why would you hire an attorney from Long Island, from East Islip, to represent you in Northport, Florida, on a case that you're being accused of potentially some felonious activity with your fiance? He needs to come forward. He needs to tell what happened, where she was last seen. And, you know, we can say right now, he's not going to be honest no matter what he comes forward and says. I don't think he's going to be honest. He seems like a control freak. Seems like a very narcissistic type behavior. I looked at his Instagram, go over. It's wide open. You could look at all his Instagram posts. He's not, he's not a, out of this world nut job, but he is, he doesn't seem like, I'm overanalyzing him, but he doesn't seem like, a bad person. But he just, his Instagram, go look at it. Go look at some of his social media posts and let me know what you think down below in the comment section. All right, guys, I've been live an hour and 20 minutes. I'm going to rock and roll and get out of here. As I like to end all of these live streams, God bless the world. God bless the United States of America. And God bless each and every one of us here in the chat. And all victims of crime and their families. And especially Gabby Petito and her family. And God bless them. Send them strength. Send the mom, Nicole Schmidt, James, her husband, that's the stepfather, and Joe, her dad, Petito. Send them strength. Send them love and wrap your arms around them. Please, dear God, give them the strength that they need to come and recover their daughter. I, again, will always hope and pray for the best. And please share, like, and subscribe to this community. I will speak to you on the next one. Thank you to everyone who's given Super Chat, who has come on in and respectfully interacted in this live stream. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace from New York.